Welcome. Today we're going to talk about streaming your game to reach new users. This is an exciting project at Google that helps game developers reach many more users beyond your install base. And in the next 45 minutes, I'll show you what we have built. I'll explain to you, or we will explain to you, how it works, and also tell you as a game developer how you can participate. And in the end, we'll also have time for questions. So let's start.
So, hi, I'm Peter. As a game developer, you have put tons of efforts building your game, and finally, it's available on Google Play. Now, it's time to let the world know. There are many ways and opportunities to get users play your games. And Google has been offering and then helping developers to achieve that. For example, many people go to Google Play where they can browse categories, top charts, trendings to find a game they love. Users can also search for specific games or category like car racing, where agreed or relevant games will show up on top of the search results. And in ads, Google offers various formats such as banner ads, interstitials, and videos to showcase your games. So for all these various moments when users are on mobile, we try to grab users' attention, give them enough information about your games, and then convince them to click this green button, which I'm sure you're all very familiar with. Now it's a decision time for users to click, to install or not to install. Personally, I like to try many games, and since most of the games are free, I can just install games, play the game for a while. If I don't like it, I can uninstall and move on to the next one. However, this install, try, uninstall process is kind of tedious and time-consuming. Even users are just one tap away from trying your awesome games. They might not have time to waiting for the download. They might not want to wait for the phone. They don't want to let the games eat up their phone storage. For whatever reasons, metrics generally shows less than 10% of users who visit the game page going to click this install button. And as you can imagine, if the button comes with a price tag, it's not even possible for users to try your games. So we have been thinking, what else can we do to make users understand your game better before installation? What else can we do to make users feel this is a game they really like before downloading? What if we show users this try now button, which make the process of trying the game as fast, as easy as watching a video on YouTube? Our solution is app streaming.
So what is app streaming? To enable this try now experience, instead of asking our user to first wait for a download, we actually pre-install the app in a virtual Android device running in the cloud. So as soon as the user clicks on the try now button, we start again in the cloud, and the audio and visual content generated by the game is then captured and streamed all the way down to the user's device. This is similar to how videos are streamed on services like YouTube. And in addition, to let the user interact with the game, we also capture user controls such as the touch gestures, and then stream them back up to the cloud so that the game can update its content accordingly. This two-way exchange is carefully designed to run fast and smooth, such that the user can enjoy the game as if it was installed locally on the device. Now let me give you a more concrete example. Today, in the Google app on Android, let's say our user Jen searches for Candy Crush by typing it into the Google search box on the top of your Android home screen. In the search result page, in addition to the install button you are familiar with, there is now also a try now option. As soon as Jen clicks on the try now button, she's immediately launched into the game. And at this point, the screen is already generated and streamed down from the cloud. And Jen can start playing right away. And some of you might have noticed that in the app streaming experience, there's this additional G button that actually floats on top of the game and can be moved around in case it covers some important elements in the game. At any moment during the gameplay, Jen can click on this G button, which gives her more options. For example, Jen can choose to install the game from Google Play, or she can go back to the previous search result page, or she can simply get back to the game and continue playing. We currently limit the length of this trial experience in search to up to 10 minutes. And at the end of this 10-minute trial, Jen will be presented again with an option to install the game. By now, she should be very familiar with what this game is about. And if she likes the game, she wants to play it more, she can then install the game on her phone from here. This feature is already live in the Google app on Android. And we are already streaming hundreds of games, including popular titles like Candy Crush, Angry Birds, and Cut the Rope. So if you have an Android phone, please give it a try after the session.
So in addition to search, we also integrate app streaming into a new ads format called trial run ads. Let's look at how the product works. Our user Jen is playing a game called Bears vs. Arts. When she finishes one level and goes to the next level, ads pop up. And she noticed that this is ads about a game called 10-10 Puzzle. Looks like it has a good rating, and she can try the game by clicking the try now button. So she does. The 10-10 Puzzle will be launched instantly, and she can play the game, get a pretty good feeling about what the game is about. And when the trial is over, she has the option to install the game. Next slide. Yeah. So if she likes the game, she can install in Google Play. We launched this trial run ads in beta 6 months ago, and in our early test, advertisers are seeing 20% increase in conversion rate. In addition, since users are getting the taste of games before going through the download process, we think developers can attract users who are more engaged because users have chosen the game based on their experience in the trial. Okay.
Now it's time to show some live demos. So let's do this. Okay. Let's see. Okay. So can everyone see the screen? So what I'm going to demo is app streaming in Google Search. So let's say I heard about this Angry Birds game called Angry Birds Rio. So I look it up by typing it into the Google search box. There's now this try now option. So I click on try now. I'm already in the game. Okay. And you can see that there's a barcode saying app streaming powered by Google. And at this point, you hear the audio too. The user can already interact with the game. I can just go directly into stage 1 and start playing. You can see that I can already move around, and also multi-touch works. Let me try to do this. Okay. So let me try one more level. I think you get the idea. So I like this game very much. I want to have it on my phone. What do? I click on this button, and then I can just, I click on this button, I can just install the game right here. And this is how it works. App streaming works inside Google Search.
Let's also look at how the app streaming works for trial run ads. Okay, so what you are seeing here is an interstitial ads for game 2 dots. And just like all the interstitial ads, it has a pretty creative, it has a name and a ratings. But now, I also have a try now button here. I can tap. And instead of watching a video ad passively, I'm now dropped right into the game and I can fully interact with the game. And looks like the first part of the game, just like a lot of games, is a tutorial, which is great because now I don't need to read the description from the Google Play. I can just follow the tutorial like this and then learn how to play and then decide if I like the game or not. And actually, I already played this tutorial like 100 times, so I got pretty good at it. And you may notice that for ads, there's also a timer on top of the screen, which reminds users how much time you have for the trial. Okay, time's up, and then user will have an opportunity to tap install. Well, and go to the Play Store and then download the game. So this is our demo.
Okay. So now let's come back to talk more about how app streaming works. First, we run an army of Android virtual machines on Google Cloud Platform, which is Google's public cloud offering that is rapidly expanding around the globe. So you can think of these Android virtual machines as running the actual Android operating system on virtualized CPUs in the cloud. And just like the Linux VMs and Windows VMs you usually see on Google Cloud Platform or any other elastic clouds, these Android VMs can be quickly spin up or torn down on demand. And that is how we scale app streaming to serve Google users. The Android VMs currently run Android Marshmallow, and we regularly apply system patches to make sure that these games always run in an up-to-date environment for best performance. Now, as you can imagine, in the cloud, these Android VMs do not have physical touch panels or physical displays attached to them. In order to support device input, what we do is we customize these Androids in the hardware abstraction layer so that they can take virtual input events streamed from the user's physical device all the way across the internet. And similarly, to support device output, in the VM, we capture the rendering frame buffer and the audio samples, encode them into a video bitstream, and send it down to the user. To deliver a fully interactive experience, this additional two-way latency introduced by app streaming needs to be as low as possible. So we actually spend a lot of efforts streamlining every single component in this system, all the way from the mobile client, the network, and also the cloud servers. In our current implementation, the processing time and buffering time on the client and on the server combined is only 60 milliseconds. And in the US, the network round-trip time from a user to a Google Cloudform data center is typically around 20 to 40 milliseconds. That means in total, app streaming only adds up to 60 plus 40, 100 milliseconds of latency. That's 1/10 of a second. And as you all saw earlier in the demos, this number is low enough such that we can still deliver an enjoyable mobile gaming experience. As you all know, in streaming applications, network conditions can have a very big impact on the quality of service. And network conditions can vary. It not only varies from connection to connection, even within a single connection, the network condition can vary significantly over time. To cope with network condition variations, what we do is we adapt the video quality in real time to the live network conditions. For example, we adapt the video bitrate from around 1 megabits per second all the way to more than 5 megabits per second. And similarly, we also adapt the video frame rate from around 15 frames per second to the regular 60 frames per second. We also adapt the level of protection against packet loss based on how lossy the network is in real time. And with all these adaptation efforts, we are able to run app streaming smoothly on a variety of Wi-Fi and 4G cellular networks.
I hope by now you feel excited about this novel approach to reach new users. So how do you get started? Very simple. Please go to g.co/app-streaming-games and answer a few simple questions on the form and confirm your participations. And that's it. The rest of the work is on us. We'll use the same APK you publish on Google Play and create an app streaming experience. And while technically you do not need to modify the APK, please keep in mind that this is a time-limited trial, meaning that offering an intuitive, fun experience in the first few minutes going to be an important thing for user and keep user engaged. We think this is a good design in general for all the games, so hopefully your game already do this. And for trial run ads, if you have a complicated game or something that's very difficult to showcase in a limited time, you have an option to provide us a custom APK. For example, you can start a game from level 36, or you can start a game with a character with very fancy gears. So there's an option there for the trial run ads.
Okay. So finally, some key takeaways. As a game developer, you can now reach many more users beyond your install base with the Try Now functionality powered by Google App Streaming. Users no longer need to wait for a download before they can experience your game. And this removes a lot of friction in getting high-value users with better engagement. We are already streaming hundreds of games in Google Search and Ads. So to also get your game stream, please sign up at g.co/app-streaming-games. And you can even get it done without a single line of code change. And with that, we thank you for your attention. But again, please go sign up and then also give it a try on your phone.
Thank you.
So next, we'll open the floor to questions, and our product manager, Shilpa, will join us on stage.
Can you guys go to the center, please, where the microphone is, and line up for Q&A, please?
Okay.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Okay, yes, please.
We good? So 2 questions. What about native games and 3D games? And can you launch into a specific point in a game?
So let me first answer the first one. Native and 3D games. I mean, the games you saw are actually native and 3D. Okay, the short answer is we do support native and 3D games. And currently, we support all graphics command. We run graphics command in the cloud. So 3D games work.
Okay,
That's the answer. And
yep,
the
so
second
full
question.
OpenGL support. What about Vulkan support?
Not OpenGL, yes. Not
OpenGL?
Vulkans, yeah.
Not Vulkan.
Yeah. And because we also run Android Marshmallow, so
Okay.
Vulkans is not there, yeah.
And then launching to a specific point, say like an interesting part of the
Yeah,
level.
so right now to launch to a specific point, you'll require you provide us a custom APK.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't have a way to take a stock APK and then launch to a specific
Not
point.
like a custom intent.
However, technically, if you can provide us say a deep link, then we can possibly use a deep link to jump into a specific game you like.
That's cool.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
So deep links work.
Hi there. What kind of metrics do you provide? Like how long people do the trial, what conversion? Do you guys expose any of that data so we can see how well it's performing?
We don't yet, but we do have the numbers, and we are looking into how we can share these numbers with our partners. And that's also one of the reasons we are asking all of you to sign up and give us feedback so we can figure out together what numbers you are looking for.
Hello, I have two questions.
Sure.
The first is, can I try can I try the game, try now, multiple times?
Yes.
Yes. And every trial has same time, 10 time limit.
So right now, this is a number we currently set. So in search, like the use case I demo inside the Google app, the limit is set to 10 minutes per session, per trial. And for ads,
So for ads, I think developer can choose the time. It really depends on the game, right? Some game user can get a full picture within 30 seconds, but some game might be 90 seconds or 120 seconds. I think there's an option there. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thank
Right.
you.
Really exciting, really good.
Thanks.
Any technical restrictions on things like play services, logins, or third-party plugins, all that kind of stuff? First thing our games generally do is we'll do sign-ins, connect to Facebook, download loads of stuff. How does the game kind of start up?
Do you want to?
So right now there isn't, when users stream, it's done anonymously, where if they would like to sign in, they can still enter their username and sign in like that. We're looking into doing an integration where, at least for Google Play Games integration, the user gets automatically signed in when they start streaming.
Hello, I'm doing virtual reality games and I wonder if my game will be downloaded and the user later decides to install it. In emerging markets, will this require to re-download again all the activity code and all assets again on mobile internet? How about saving bandwidth?
yeah. Currently, what we stream down are old pixels, so we don't stream any assets. So if the user do want to install the app, he needs to do the whole downloading again. But there's some possibility that we can integrate these two directions together. Like while streaming, we can do partial downloading, but this is something we can look into, but we haven't.
Okay. The question is, these games only work with the games that had expansion files? So actually, when you're running it on the virtual machine, you're running what you have already on the console there, or it can also work for the kind of games that we are using with our own CDN to download the content.
Do you mean the
we have two
OBB
ways.
file, the extension file?
Exactly. When you're running it on the virtual machine,
Right.
what you are running is the APK plus the OBB.
Yes,
right?
we'll also run with OBB.
What happens with the kind of games, in example, in the company I work for, we have some APKs that when you download it, then we go through a installer things that we are not using OBB. We are downloading the data from the CDN that we have.
Right. So I think right now those kind of game, meaning that after the first launch, they might want to download additional file or something.
Exactly.
And some type of game, they will take maybe a minute or even more to download. Those type of game currently doesn't work with us, but we are also looking into that possible solution. For example, pre-fetch or pre-download those games before, before take a snapshot and serving to user.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. I have three questions. What's the minimum bandwidth for streaming?
So the current system is set to 1 to 1.5 megabits per second.
Okay.
And the best one is over 5. So there's this range.
Okay. And how about the maximum users can try their streaming at the same time? Because there's a lot of users around the world, and your virtual machine is limited, I think.
Yeah. So in terms of computing power, there's always a limit, right? But because we are running on the Google data center and Google Cloud Platform, so our theoretical limit will be the limit of whatever the Google Cloud Platform can provide to us. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And the final question is, Is the trial run is currently online?
Yes, it's live.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you
very much.
Oh.
Hi, just a question around the degradation of a network. So like with video, there's dynamic adaptive streaming. Do you guys do something similar to make sure that the experience is consistent? So if my network quality gets worse, does the streaming quality get worse?
Yes, we do something similar. So if you do have a low bandwidth, the video you see, the stream app you see will be slightly more pixelated. The frame rate might be slightly lower, but we make sure the experience is still smooth enough so that user can still enjoy the game.
Thank you.
Hi, good job. Two questions. One is, does the app know it's being streamed? And the second question is, does this work with app indexing?
Oh, I guess I'll take the first part. So the app, when we start the activity, we will start activity with like normal Android intent, and currently we do provide a special intent to tell the app you are in the app streaming experience. So if developer really want to know for referral purpose, for tracking purpose, there's a way for them to know, this is a game or this is a traffic coming from the app streaming.
So we could use that to kind of customize the experience and try it out.
Okay. Yes, that's possible.
Related question is on that app indexing, because if a search results can take you straight into a special section of the app, does that work right now?
It does.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I think if your app or games support app indexing, and I think it would also work on our streaming experience. Yeah.
Right. Thanks.
I think we are good.
So if there's no more question, we'll still be here, hang out with you, and please come to us if you have more questions or you want to have more discussions.
And we also have a phone, so if you want to just try it personally, we can show you the phone. And we'll also be available in the search sandbox. So find us over the search sandbox outside. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.